Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Welcome back, everybody, to the Alopecia Angel podcast, Awaken to Hair Growth. I am your host, Johanna Dolman, and today we are going to be talking about the 4 signs you are healing your alopecia. And this is based primarily, yes, on my experience, but then also that of the experience of the hundreds of clients that I have helped within the Hair and Heal program. And the first sign that they see in general, and that I even saw in general, when you start to heal your hair loss, when you start to heal your alopecia, is that you start to feel better. And that sounds very, very minute. It sounds very little. It sounds very insignificant. But I'm telling you, as someone who's gone through alopecia, as someone who's been there, it's huge. And it's almost everything, almost. And I'll say this because when you start to feel better, you start to recognize the person in front of you in the mirror. You start to see, feel, and think like the person you were before the hair loss, before all this started. And for some of you, you've almost lost touch because it's been so many years you've been dealing with alopecia, you can't even believe it. For those of you, maybe you're too young because let's say the children who have alopecia, they don't even know how to vocalize it. But in the adult case, you start to feel better, and you can start to feel better in many aspects. That's with fatigue, that's with brain fog, that's with energy levels, that could be how your digestive system works, that could be aches and pains go away, joint pain goes away, maybe, the migraines go away, maybe it's the psoriasis and the eczema go away. All these things start to happen in the first couple weeks. And some have seen like crazy changes in just 4 or 5 days. And so don't doubt the power that your body has to heal. So that's the first sign that you know you're on the right path, that you are starting to feel better. And feeling better, right, leads and is a gateway to so many things. Number 2 reason or sign that you know that you are healing your hair loss is that your mental state, your mental health improves. And once you start to feel better, it trickles down into your mental state, into your outlook on life, into the positive reinforcement that feeling better gives you, into perhaps having everything become more in sync, into feeling happier, feeling more alive, feeling more energetic, feeling more motivated, feeling more just better. Feeling better leads to better mental health. Right? We know this in a way, but we don't sometimes put this 2 and 2 together. And so health really stems from a foundational aspect, and it grows up and trickles down into every category of what health really looks like and means. And this is why I say that the program is mind, body, spirit, because it tackles all these areas, because health is not just hair growth. In order to get the hair growth, you have to look at every category of health. And this is important because we're not all the same. We have to look at everything that's going on. It's like when you open up the body, right? For surgery, let's say, you have to see and navigate. You have organs, you have this, you have that. There's a lot going on. Just like in our current state, there's a lot going on. And it's much more than just the hair loss. So number 1 reason you're feeling better. Number 2 is that your mental health is already like getting better and feeling better as well. But then also you are, having a better outlook. You're being more positive and you're reaffirming these situations with the perspective that's given you with feeling better. It's a trickle down effect. Number 2 is that the shedding has stopped or lessened. And for many clients, it can stop and lessen in less than 4 weeks. Many times, well, let me go ahead and use an example of a client. I had a client, she had massive hair loss, not necessarily alopecia areata or totalis or universalis. It was more diffuse telogen effluvium. And she had it for 5 years, 5 years straight of just massive hair loss, clumps, just massive hair loss. And in 2 weeks, the hair loss stopped in the program. In 2 weeks after 5 years. And I don't know how long she had been following me for. I believe it was at least a year, but she did the program and in 2 weeks, the hair loss stopped. And so there comes a point where you're like, okay, enough is enough. And I need to do this. Enough is enough. And I need to take control of my hair loss. She did. And in 2 weeks, done. And so from the hair loss, when it stops, guess what? Then we can have the hair growth come in. And so number 3 sign of you healing your hair loss is that the shedding stops or it lessens, because at the same time that it's lessening, hair growth can come out. This has happened not just to me, but to my clients as well. Hair growth can come, and at the same time, the shedding lessens, and it lessens and it lessens and it lessens. So with each wash, you will start to see less hair come out, and then more and more hair growth. So that's huge, right? We want to lessen the hair loss and promote more hair growth. And for those of you who are already bald, who are already totalis or universalis, then it's just the opposite. Then obviously you don't have hair loss, but then anymore, right? But then you are moving towards hair growth, and hair growth can start on your head, on your eyebrows, in your lashes. For those of you with universalis, it could also target other body parts as well with hair growth. For men who started with the beard, it can come back in the beard right there, or mustache. I had a 16-year-old client, and at 16, you're in puberty, you're growing hair, and he was universalis, and he started to see hair growth first as a mustache. And his mom would contact me and tell me about his updates and tell me how he first had a full mustache before, all the rest of his hair grew. And so, this happens for men, right? It can happen if you're one who is experiencing alopecia areata in the beard region, which many times this is where it happens first for men. The last sign that you are seeing signs of healing your alopecia and your hair loss is actual hair growth. And it seems like a miracle, but it really isn't, because once you put in the steps, then you're bound to get the results, right? And the hair growth comes for 90% of my clients in less than 8 weeks. And regardless of the type of alopecia you have, regardless of how long you've had it, it can come in less time, and it can come all at once, and it can come with like lots of energy. It really can. And I like to share the social media post that I had from a client who, she did my program. She was alopecia universalis. And in 10 weeks, so that's just 2 weeks after the program, she saw 75% of her hair come back. And I have pictures of her. It's quite amazing, quite astounding. And in all honesty, she is the one client who, with alopecia universalis, had seen so much rapid hair growth in such less amount of time. Normally it's around 6 months where you see like the full hair growth, where it's like a full buzz cut, so to speak. But she saw like 75% of a buzz cut in 10 weeks. It's amazing, quite amazing. So believe in your body, believe that you're healing, and take the steps. These are the 4 steps, the 4 ways that you know that you're healing your alopecia and your hair loss. And let me just recap for you. 1, you are feeling better. That's mentally, that's physically, you're feeling better. 2, you can see signs in your bowel movements that are working better. You can see that your mental health is better. You can see that, the trickle down effect of feeling better rolls into other areas of life, And 3, the shedding stops. That's huge. The shedding has stopped and it's left the building. And we can pause the shedding and move towards hair growth. And many times we see sign number 3 and 4. 4 is hair growth. At the same time that the shedding has lessened, we see the shedding lessen and we see more hair growth. And I saw that too, where, you start to see all these like almost antennas, for those of you with diffuse or telogen effluvium, you start to see all these hairs everywhere at the same time that the hair shedding stops. And for those of you with areata, you start to see less hair fall in the shower and when you brush it, and then more hair growth in the spots that, you have on your head. And so this is quite amazing to see. And the ability to fast track yourself for high performance results comes from this proven method of the Hair and Heal program, 100% natural and organic. If you'd like to learn more, I invite you to come look at us at alopeciaangel.com. We have the Hair and Heal program there, available for Spanish and for English, for children and adults of all ages. We look forward to helping you. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.